Welcome to another episode of no.gowild. We've been doing various things over the last few months. I've qualified as a lowland leader, which is a walking guide, and I'm about to do my mountain leader training in April, and so I needed some more quality mountain days, and any excuse to get out of the city and go to the mountains is good enough for us. So we left over a weekend and drove to Wales, where we spend a long time walking, and as you'll see, the scenery is quite beautiful.
As soon as we reached the start of the hike, we found our minds clearing of the day-to-day concerns of our 9-to-5s, and camping out on a hillside on the first evening, there was little to worry about, apart from whether the new tent would survive the windy night. The next day, we set out on the main hike.
There are many benefits to walking outdoors, and some of those are benefits of physical health. So they include benefits for the joints, benefits for blood pressure, for diabetes, for lowering cholesterol, just for feeling better. And we also know that there are benefits to mental health and walking, which is what this channel is really about. So there's been a lot of research, growing research over the years. We're getting to quite a few studies now to really document that. And what we know is that being outside in any capacity, whether it's gardening or whether it's with animals or whether it's walking or conservation projects, include benefits which are of psychological restoration, increased general mental well-being, reduction in depression, anxiety, and any stress-related problems. We also know that there's an improvement in dementia-related symptoms. Self-esteem and confidence and mood are also improved by being outside. There is an increased attentional capacity, so being able to hold attention, to be able to concentrate. There's an increased amount of cognition. There was also an improved happiness, which I was particularly interested to read about. Improved satisfaction, and also, of course, quality of life. There is a sense of peace, calm and relaxation, which is associated with being outdoors. There are feelings of safety and security, which we don't always read about or hear about, but we know that that's something that is associated with being outdoors. If you go in a group or make friends while outside, there's an increased social contact and inclusion and this sense of belonging, which we've spoken about before, which is really important to us as humans. And we know there's an increase in work skills and things like meaningful activity and personal achievement. And from personal experience, there is no greater personal achievement than climbing up a mountain or a ridge or a hill. And the greater the walk and the struggle has been to go up that mountain, the more meaningful that feels and the better personal achievement. So I wanted to share some of those with you because being outdoors is free, it's relatively easy, and even if it is walking for 10 minutes, it will increase that sense of well-being, peace and relaxation, and it brings me joy that I wanted to share with you, and hopefully encourage you to step outside in the green spaces around you.
The weather is surprisingly mild for this time of year in the UK, and we are treated to beautifully shifting light across the hills.
Within by Nana Tomova. Once quiet and grey, your eyes open me, depth beyond my reach, a well of complexity within. The crack unnoticed by some is treasured by me. I look deep and see your soul spilling out at the beat of my drum. The spring awakens that is buried within me. Distorted vision makes me see more clearly. Through my heart, not my mind. Through life and love I breathe in deep, the courage to be awake, raw and free.
The mountain fills us with wonder, reminding us of why we went to the effort of preparing for such a journey. There is rarely anything worthwhile in life that does not require some kind of effort or motivation beforehand.
I'd like to share a poem with you from one of my favourite poets, Mary Oliver, who sadly left us earlier this year. This one is called The Poet Dreams of the Mountain. Sometimes I grow weary of the days with all their fits and starts. I want to climb some old grey mountains, slowly taking the rest of my lifetime to do it, resting often, sleeping under the pines or above them, or the unclothed rocks. I want to see how many stars are still in the sky, that we have smothered for years now, a century at least. I want to look back at everything, forgiving it all, and peaceful, knowing the last thing there is to know. All that urgency, not what the earth is about. How silent the trees, their poetry being of themselves only. I want to take slow steps and think appropriate thoughts. In 10,000 years, maybe, a piece of the mountain will fall.
Just before we make the final ascent to the highest peak, the weather changes dramatically and visibility drops. We are also running out of daylight and make the difficult decision to descend and find a campsite before dark. These choices are never easy to make after a full day of hiking, when not fulfilling your plan of reaching a certain summit can have a huge impact on morale. But by the time we make camp, the last of the light is fading, and we confirm that we made the right choice at the right time.